Today, we are going to talk about the Icon Airflite QB1. I happened to pick one up over the winters for a new helmet. I picked up the green and the black. And I think the most noticeable thing about this helmet is obviously the visor and the way it covers the entire front of the helmet. You got this air vent there. And you got holes in the visor itself to go through the air vent. Again, pretty obvious. You can't do any sort of chin-mounted GoPro mount or anything like that with this type of helmet. I went in there knowing that because I've got the Sena Prism 2 Pro on the side. First thoughts on that. If that's what you have some sort of chin-mounted GoPro or something like that, and that's what you like, straight out, this probably isn't going to be the helmet for you because that visor goes all the way down. If you're willing to change it up, or you have a helmet on the side or top or whatever, it's fine. With some of the lines on this helmet, and it looks really well done. You got some lines and some bumps on the side here. You might have a little trouble, depending on your camera setup, finding a flat enough surface to do that. I happen to, this camera is actually pretty small with a small mount. I didn't have that hard of a time doing it, and then I was able to angle it well enough. I was able to get the Sena Bluetooth stuck on the side there. I couldn't get it to work. You can't use clamps on this helmet, because if you look at the bottom, it's all pretty tight knit there. If you're really want to get it done, and you're willing to take the padding and all that helmet and all that stuff apart to get it done, go for it. I didn't feel like it. I was like, I'll just use the sticky pads and do it that way. You got the front vent here, and then you got two top vents up top. It's pretty fine. It's been cold enough. I haven't had to open them up. The other cool thing about this helmet on the side, you've got built-in sun visor, which the control is right on the side here. So now that I have the camera mounted so close to this, riding, sometimes it's hard for me to just flip that up. But with the tinted visor, it's not, I haven't had to do it all that often. Just at a stoplight, just kind of do it real quick, not a big deal. Now, if you look at the bottom, again, that looks like a pretty tight fit. This is a medium size, and I had measured my head and all of that. I'm like, if I'm going to get a good helmet, I'm going to do this the right way, do all the measurements and all of that. Very tight fit. I was almost worried about it, how tight it was. I'm like, oh, I got it way too tight. But once I got it on and comfortable and moving around a little bit, it felt fine. It's broken in a little bit since then, and I think it's perfect. I think it works out fine. So if you are going to size the helmet, you may, and you're kind of like on a borderline of sizing, go one up, because I feel like it's a little tight. The thing that people had mentioned about this helmet is the noise level. I wear earplugs when I ride anyways, especially long distances. Anything over like 45 minutes to an hour, I'll be using the earplugs, and all highway driving. I think it's quiet. I think it's perfectly fine. You still hear other noises around you, exhaust, stuff like that, but the wind noise is next to nothing, at least for me. And that involves sizing the helmet correctly as well. So if you get too big of a helmet, you're going to get the gaps, and you're going to get wind noise and all of that, and it's just not going to protect you well enough. So the other thing, it's not a con per se, but in order to take the visor off and switch it, you've got these little side panels that are easier enough to clip off. They just come right off, and then you angle the visor up and pull it out that way. I've got a couple HJC helmets that just have the quick release on the sides. That's a lot easier, especially if you're in like a parking lot or you have to pull over, as the sun's going down and switch out visors. This takes a little bit longer. For the amount of times I think I would have to do that, it's not that big of a deal. I think it's just more of a convenience, really. Another thing that was brought up in some reviews in relation to noise was like this weird high-pitched sound, maybe like with the way the wind flows over the helmet. The other day I was riding, wind was probably about 15 to 20 miles an hour, just standing, not riding. I thought I heard it, but it wasn't enough for me to really be annoyed by it. It was just kind of in the background. If you really focused on it, you could hear it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that depends on the size of the helmet, maybe some accessories that you have on the helmet, visor, stuff like that, but that doesn't bother me that much. So, overall review of the helmet, I like it. I would definitely purchase it again, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone looking for that type of style helmet. I bought it on my own. I'm not some motovlogger who gets stuff for free and reviews it and doesn't say anything bad about it. There's no glaring issue with this helmet. It's actually, I can't find any con on a helmet that I would have to relay to you being like, you might want to have to look out for this, or I don't really like this. Nothing like that. Besides, the visor thing and maybe some weird high-pitched wind noises going by. There's nothing glaring to me that would stop me from buying the helmet again or recommending it to any of you out there. I think it's really dependent on if you like a different type of style helmet like this and you don't care about not mounting a chin mount camera or anything like that. So, with that being said, thank you for watching my weird, crappy review on my Icon helmet. See you guys on the next one.